Okay, let's head out to our community backyard. Beautiful day. Falun Dafa 9-day lecture. Today is going to be the 5th lecture. It's a big time blessing for our community. Every month, 11th to the 19th, our community is being blessed by this great opportunity to go online and watch the 9-day lecture between 8 to 10. This is an invisible platform that I want to recommend to all of you, that although we are not meeting in person in our office, but this unique period of time of 11th to the 19th every month is the time that we can go online together. 8 to 10 is our team effort to learn Falun Dafa and to get ourselves ready for our great projects as my team members. So those who want to join me to do great projects at the Whole Elephant Institute and the Sacred Virtual Institute, this is our platform for working together and studying together. So wherever you are, as long as you follow me and work together in spirit, we are in reality a great team. And yesterday, the 4th lecture of Falun Dafa, I, as usual, sent a text message to 6 other team members to remind for the lecture 2 minutes before lecture starts. And 8 o'clock, we start the 4th lecture to learn the 4th lecture from Master Lee. And after that, I had team meeting with Mr. Doik Shim, and we discussed about the charter school project and the mother school project. And I did some recordings, and I will be sharing that with all our team members. So today is going to be the 5th lecture. Now when I walk in the community and head out and facing this bright sunlight, every day I remind myself the following important words: 慈悲 compassion, 爱心 heart of love, 善意 the kind intent, 善意. And I also every day recite 真善忍是衡量好坏人的唯一标准，真善忍是衡量好坏人的唯一标准。Truthfulness, compassion, forbearance is the only standard to measure whether a person is good or bad. 真善忍是衡量好坏人的唯一标准。Yeah. So those are very important messages we shall always keep in our mind throughout our daily life. And remind ourselves that in this universe, when we exist in the space and time, we have the responsibility to uphold the law of the universe, to be one with the law of the universe. And at the human level, when we need to do things correctly, we need to be guided by the law of the universe. By reciting the words that I just shared with you, which is from the teachings of my teacher, Master Li, I realized that my heart has the energy to drive my entire system towards the right direction. That's right, the driving force of our daily activities is from our heart. Our heart nature determines the amount of energy we can receive from the universe. How to increase our energy is dependent upon how we cultivate our heart nature. And to upgrade our heart nature, to allow our heart nature to be conforming to the different levels of the law of the universe, then we manifest ourselves at the different levels of the universe. When I read the translation version currently published on Minghui website, Master Li's recent teachings, I noticed that the translator is converting cultivation practice into spiritual practice, cultivation state into spiritual state. I think it is not correct. Spiritual state is only an aspect of manifestation of cultivation state. Cultivation practice is much more than spiritual practice. The inner content of cultivation practice include spiritual practice, but are way beyond the spiritual practice. 修炼 is not just a spiritual practice. 修炼 that is very specific school of mind and body cultivation practice. So the translator currently are cutting out quite a lot of inner contents of what's the original from Master Li's teachings by converting very profound term 修炼 into pure shallow words called spiritual practice, spiritual state, spiritual life. Cultivation practice is not a spiritual practice, a spiritual life, spiritual state. I don't think that is correct because it's very easily misleading the Western society to consider Falun Dafa to be some kind of spirituality. That is to the Eastern people. And then has no opportunity to learn something very profound called a cultivation practice of mind, body, and spirit. So yeah, that was one of the many reasons that I decided that I must translate Master Li's teachings for the general public in a very straightforward, simple, but exact, in a way precisely allow the inner content of Master Li's teachings, not to be covered up, not to be narrowed, not to be twisted because of personal fear, personal limitation of understandings of Master Li's teaching, and with personal sentiment, inclinations added into the translation. Because we are very limited in our ability to understand very profound teachings. And we cannot pretend we know better than Master Li and try to cover up certain teachings of Master Li in fear of certain people cannot understand Master Li's teachings. And thinking that you can represent Master Li to alter some kind of terms for the convenience of yourself, not to be considered to be difficult to understand or a new thing that people are having a hard time to be able to understand immediately. New understandings always come naturally when people follow Master Li's teachings. Their mind is going to expand and their understanding will be clarified by Master Li's fashion. In that regard, I also see that maybe the translator thinks that on the surface I'm going to conform to the simple-minded, normal translation of the spiritual groups of the Western world, but I still am not agreeing with that. I still consider that a translator shall not add any of those personal limited concerns into the translation, must allow the teaching to be translated precisely, as precise as possible on the surface, and allow Master Li's fashion to deliver the inner contents to the readers, and not to avoid certain things that your mind has fear about, concern about, and assumption about, and your inclinations about. So to translate fellow Falun Dafa practitioners into brethren, I do not think it's appropriate. That is mixing up the current Western world religious schools, certain terms with Master Li's teachings referring to Falun Dafa practitioners. Also, 圣徒, sacred disciples, shall not be translated into saints. That is not correct either, because saints has a very old value in the Western world, and usually refers to the disciples of Jesus, messengers of Jesus. So that's really not appropriate to translate like that. And the end of the translation of Master Li's teaching on June 5th, on June 6th. The end of the teaching, the last sentence, Master Li says, 神圣的大法弟子. So, if you just translate directly, it basically means sacred Falun Dafa practitioners. But the translator translated into the practitioners who are to be holy. That is again very religious in the Western world, and mixing up the Western spiritual terms with Master Li's teachings. 圣徒really means sacred disciples. So these are the sacred disciples of Master Li, not the followers of Jesus. So I really think it's going to, require some modifications of the translation. Also, the title, 警醒, 警醒, actually is now translated into wake up. No, it has this warning element, has this alerting element of awakening. So I translate it into alert and awaken. This is the translation project that at the Sacred Virtual Institute, I have this feeling that ever since the Sacred Virtual Institute was registered on December 13th, 2023, this nonprofit organization showed us very important responsibilities. In terms of the mission, it's called Spread the Light to the Dark Human Society, and to bring order into the chaotic human world, and to rectify, to eliminate evil thoughts of human mind. So Master Li's teaching came right out on January 20th, 2023. The Sacred Virtual Institute was registered on December 13th, 2022. Master Li's teaching to the whole world about how mankind came to be, or I translate into why mankind came to be. 为什么会有人类 came out on January 20th, 2023. And I am enlightened to the truth that my mission is to make sure I do a great job in translating Master Li's teachings to the human world. Not just practitioners, but everyone, to the human world. And the Sacred Virtual Institute showed us that responsibility, because the light that can shine into the dark human world comes from Falun Dafa teachings, from Master Li's teachings, from our Creator's wisdom. So that's what I commit to do, and I want to continue to perfect myself in doing this work.